It's all gone to shit.
He's right.
That's why we're here.
Every time
on my brew. Carry on.
Every time we lose a manager, I like this style. I like it.
Yeah,
Normally you just said cut there. Every time we lose a manager,
It's like our living room.
it is.
Welcome to our living room.
Every time we lose a manager, me and Dom do a video on this red sofa. It's the casting couch of manager resignations.
We're on black coffee because
We are.
Tyson Fury said it helps you lose weight. So if Tyson said it, it must be true.
Down in it, pint at a time. So yeah, Grayson's gone, as we know, and it's all kind of gone tits up. So we thought we've done a bit of a catch-up video. We're going to read out loads of Facebook messages because some of them were amazing, some were very intriguing, loads of tweets. It's been a pretty shit season, to be fair, probably one of the worst for a few seasons that I can remember.
Yes, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
To start with, because it's not just about what we think. We're all fans. It's about, it's about what you think as well. So I'll go grab my computer, and we'll go through some of the Facebook comments because we had loads of comments on our Facebook page. Right, we've got them opened up. They're across a couple of posts. Though the first one is about our Radio Lead show that's on tonight. So we'll have a look at the comments underneath them. We didn't ask for any comments on this, by the way. There's no question, but a few people wanted to vent their anger.
Didn't they?
So we've not prepared for this. We should have done, but that's really not how we roll. Gavin Schofield, firstly. This got 15 likes from fans of the Bantams Banter page. To all the people not renewing their tickets, what do you want? The club to go out of the Football League? Because that's what would happen if we all thought and did this. I am as pissed off as any, but I take the good times with the bad, the shit with the shitter. I'm not going to read it all. It's quite long. He's saying, each to their own, it's just my opinion. That got 15 likes, 13 replies. Let's have a look at some of the replies. That hurt to read, I guess. And Andy Stilling's there feeling that Gavin Schofield's lost it a little bit. People will do what they want, Mike Smith, you're right. So basically,
It's about the season ticket renewal.
it's about renewing your season ticket.
Because people have said that they're not going to renew because we're so bad, and also
Which is ridiculous.
Like
it's ridiculous, really. I mean, we've been going for what, 25 years-ish. There's been a load of shit. It's been mostly shit, if anything. But it makes the good bits all the better. If you're a loyal supporter, then you ride out the crap, and then the good bits come along, and it's even more amazing. For instance, I mean, a massively obvious version of this is we started Bantams Banter when Bradford City were absolutely the worst. Peter Taylor's manager, nearly getting relegated out of the Football League, and we were, I don't want to say rewarded. We were rewarded by Phil Parkinson and the cup runs and promotion and stuff like that. But the reason that felt so good is because so close to those cup runs, we'd been so rubbish.
Yeah.
We were at the very bottom. And then we got to the very top of the mountain, and everything down below just looked irrelevant, didn't it? All that shit didn't matter.
But do you think that if people don't renew, I don't think it's something to hate on, is it? I don't think if people decide not to, I don't think you should start.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's their opinion on it, and I suppose if they don't.
I don't understand why you wouldn't, but doesn't matter to us, does it? If we're still,
I understand why they wouldn't, because they literally, it's got that bad for them personally. For them personally, that they just don't want to put themselves
I mean, I
through,
guess I'm just a different sort of supporter.
I'm the same.
A proper supporter, I'd say.
All right, mate. You support through. I'm the same. I support through thick and thin. No matter how bad we are, good we are, you still support the team. That's the idea of supporting it. But at the same time, you could kind of argue the fans that don't want to come with crap. You can argue, well, do we need those sorts of fans? Do you know what I mean? Are they just maybe the negative people, or do you know what I mean? It's
fly by nights.
Fly by nights, exactly. It's an interesting debate.
Who cares? I mean, people getting upset about it on Twitter. So what? Let them do whatever they want. Even if there's only 5,000 of us in the stands next year, so what? We're still there. We're still watching Bradford City. We're still getting out of it what we want.
The most important thing is that you're still there. You know what I mean? Whether you're sat amongst 20,000 or 5,000 fans, you personally show your support by singing along. And
personally, I think because of social media, the whole people not renewing their season tickets, blah blah blah, has been totally blown out of proportion. We're bound to lose a few. Last season wasn't a great season. If it was someone's first season with a season ticket, and then they saw that, and they probably thought, not for me. So what? Let them go.
The fact it's still only £200 after the deadline is quite remarkable as well.
Yeah, it's still an affordable season ticket.
Of course it is.
And who knows what's going to happen next season. We'll get more into that later.
Comments.
Mark Ashdown says James Mason has done a Lord Lucan since the Believe campaign garbage imploded, along with the entire club. He'll be off sharpish.
Not for his own fault, though, I imagine.
I'm not entirely sure who Lord Lucan is. I'm guessing some sort of magician, disappearing actor.
Yeah, Lord Lucan disappeared and no one knew where he was. So I think he said, did he say we're dead, Lord Lucan?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure that's the case. Maybe James Mason, it wasn't his decision to be quiet. Look at club communications now, completely different, aren't they? Everything's corporate and straight down the line. There's no personality. There's no, I mean, it's obviously not a Bradford City fan tweeting from that account, is it? So, bear that in mind.
Exactly.
Let's hope we can get a good cup run, and the fans who do one and don't support the club till they die can get tickets for that big cup game. See, that comment about our radio show tonight got a lot of responses, and I thought, oh, this is good, isn't it? First time, you know. But actually, it's just people responding to Gavin Schofield. So we've been exposed as frauds there.
But no, go to the other post. That were
so the other post. So if you didn't see it the other day, I was on the bus or train or something on the way to work and got a bit impassioned about Bradford City. Loads of stuff going through my head, so I just had like verbal diarrhea, typed it up all on my phone, posted it out on Twitter. If you didn't see that post, there's a link to it in the description. But basically I was saying about how it's easy to lose heart when you see the flow of negative news coming out of the club, but it's important to remember that the club is you, it's us. The fans are what are important to a club. Whether you have a new stadium, different coloured kit, crap players, crap manager, owners that you don't get along with, it's irrelevant. The club, Bradford City, is us, and the owners would do well actually to remember that it's not just a business, it's not just a play thing, it's not just something for you to live out your fantasy with, it's not championship manager in real life, it's something that is beloved by fans, that fans love. You can't fuck about with it. You can't start messing with it, making your decisions, changing the way you pay players, making players and managers not want to come to the club because of what you're imposing on them. This club has got a rich heritage and it's extraordinarily close to the fans, closer to its fans than I'd say many other clubs are. And that's because we all united after the fire. We became a very close club since then. Before then, the club was fairly close to its fans as well. Since then, fan engagement has been a paramount for the club. It's a massive reason for the success. It's a massive reason for success of campaigns. It's a massive reason for the reason we've been able to sell season tickets for 149 quid because the club knows its fans. And you can't change that. But from a fan's point of view, it's important to remember that closeness to the club and how important you are.
Do you think when Edin and Stefan came in, they totally underestimated the sort of...
Maybe, but you like to think they've done the research, and maybe they're just powerful businessmen who want to impose...
Well, that's exactly what they are.
But you can't do that in a football club. You can't just come in and do that.
They're running a football club like a business.
Yeah.
Which a football club is a business, but if you run it like a business where a lot of the heart, the day-to-day sort of, camaraderie with staff is totally gone and exasperated because the way they're running it, that filters down to the team.
Do you know what it is?
And squad.
It could be down to our Yorkshire caveman behaviour, but it's change. We're all pretty scared of change, pretty scared of the uncertainty, and there is a lot of uncertainty at the minute. But it's not the worst it's ever been, has it?
No, not at all. And
administration,
exactly,
nearly getting relegated out of the Football League. That was all loads worse. The Peter Taylor era was terrible. But people say, it wasn't as bad as now, or at least those players gave it a go. It was absolutely awful.
And financially, then we were a lot worse off than we are now. Not saying we're millionaires, but at least we're not in the red. Go down to the comments. They're interesting.
Well, I just wanted to say that also on that Peter Taylor thing, and this relates to Simon Grayson, and we'll talk about Simon Grayson in a minute, but Peter Taylor came into the club with a really good record as well. Really good track record. England under 21s. He'd had teams promoted, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be the saviour. Yeah. He nearly fucking ruined us.
He did.
Absolutely ruined us.
He was a terrible manager.
Tactics inept. So let's have a look. First comment here, Jamie Longley. I truly believe the issues lie with the chairman. Jamie's opinion. It wouldn't make a difference if you brought the best manager in the world in. Edin is meddling too much. Now that's an opinion that gets dotted around quite a lot. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with the German way of football, but if the German way is to act like Edin does, so what he's doing he thinks is completely right. If that's the German way, it's just not going to cut it in England because the managers, the experienced managers, the successful managers are used to working in a certain way, and if it's not going to be a very attractive prospect to come to Bradford, is it?
Pep Guardiola, I know it's an extreme. Do you think the owners of Man City are questioning what Pep Guardiola is doing, or do you think they're questioning what player he's buying or what player he's after? Do you really think that happens? No. There's a reason Man City win the league because Pep Guardiola controls everything, or a lot of it.
There are a lot of branches when you look at this. Imagine that the tree is the argument, but then everything branching off it. So there are things like, the chairman don't spend enough money, which is a comment that comes up a lot. Fair comment. the budget for next year is rumoured to not be as competitive as it might be. I mean, the whole Simon Grayson thing has thrown that out there. But if we take Charlie Wyke into consideration, that was a big money purchase.
I think that was a
hadn't often before.
No.
Hadn't happened under the previous chairman. And then you've got McCartan, again a big money purchase. Jake Reeves. So money is being spent on players who, on paper, were really good players that should have done better at Bradford City. And I don't know if that's the way the club's being run that's affected the way the players are playing or the way they've been managed. I can't comment on that because I don't know. I'm not within the club. Everything we say is speculation. But one, you start reacting to rumours when they linger around for a long time because stuff does get out of the club. It's the nature of a football club. There's loads of staff, loads of fans. Rumours get out. Just happens. But as long as they linger, the longer they linger, the more real they become and the more real it seems to be. And at the minute, when the club's pretty silent, pretty dry in their comments coming out of Twitter and stuff like that, with no reaction. I mean, where's the reaction to Simon Grayson losing
there's not, yeah, exactly.
A stale statement that means nothing.
Exactly, they did a generic again.
What's happening now?
Yeah? There's no reaction to it. It's literally gone silent, hasn't it?
You can't go from a club that's been doing a superb job of keeping the fans in the loop. Still, obviously the fans still have questions to ask. There are always questions to ask. But now there's nothing. What are we?
Yeah,
we're all in the dark. We just want to know that everything's all right at the club. I mean, Stefan's speech at Player of the Year, great speech. We've learned from our mistakes. Things will be different next year. That's what fans wanted to hear because we knew that last season wasn't a great one. Ben, answer the phone. We knew that it wasn't a great season. So we wanted to know that there were going to be changes, and we were assured that there would be changes. But now, what we judge the chairman on, are their actions. What you do you fulfil those promises? Do you make changes?
Do you think that apology were a bit of a smokescreen?
I don't know. You kind of want to believe it, don't you? I mean, I bumped into them in
It's easy to say sorry. To say sorry when it's easy to say it was their fault. It can be. It can just be a load of rubbish, can't it? They could just be
whatever it is to appease the fans. I guess
exactly,
you could say that. Who knows? But they talk a good talk.
Fault?
I bumped into them in the Bradford City training ground car park, and they convinced me that they were sorry and that they'd made mistakes and that they were going to rectify them. And they spoke really honestly to me. So I thought, oh yeah, this is it.
Because they're not going to say anything else to you, are they?
Exactly. That's the worry, and they don't have to. Absolutely don't have to. It's their club, I suppose. Do whatever they want, but. You've got to remember, it's not just your asset you're playing with.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The fans are invested in it with more than just money. The fans are invested in it with their hearts, and we've spent a lot of our lives doing it. We've invested a lot of money in it as well. We spent money on season tickets and shirts and other stuff from the shop and pies and whatever.
And I think they're realising, you said they can do what they want. I think they're realising they actually can't just do what they want, can they? They can't just say, you're going, you're not getting this, you're doing that, you're getting paid that, you're coming here, he's playing there. You literally can't. No. Maybe you can do it in Germany, I don't know, but you can't do it over here. It does not work.
Steve Dunn agrees with the original post about how it's not as bad as it was, but he says you don't just have to sit back and enjoy it, enjoy what's going on at the moment. Yes, we've had many lows and very, very bad times, but by not being vocal in opposition to recent events, we are just adding to the problems and being used as vehicles to enhance personal wealth. Oof. It's like House of Cards.
I know, but I actually think Steve makes a good point there. He's saying, go back to Leeds, the Chilino days or the Ken Bates days, fans can revolt and fans can protest, fans can boycott, boycott games. I remember Rangers fans did it recently. And if you do it in mass, it really does affect, it will affect the run of the club. They don't want that. Ed and the staff don't want the fans not to turn up out of protest, but it could get to that point. If it carries on the track we seem to be going down.
What's being offered to the fans as far as season tickets are concerned and the quality of football is not really the issue. The issue is what we're hearing coming out of the club. So the rumours of the players' bonuses, the fact that one, they've not been paid them yet.
Yeah.
Two, that their wages aren't competitive with other clubs. So it's going to be hard for us to sign players.
There's one where they're arguing, Eden is arguing over paying a bonus. Because say it was an assist or a goal, he's saying it wasn't their goal or he wasn't doing assist. He's arguing the toss and paying that. That's happening.
That's good for morale, isn't it?
Yeah, that's brilliant for morale. So imagine if you bang in a goal and I'm going to enjoy the song. That wasn't your goal.
Again,
it's a deflection. You're not going to get paid your bonus.
It's an unconfirmed rumour, but it's one that just doesn't seem to be going away. So there must be something in it.
There is, and you've got to remember as well, and I'll say this now, you know, me and Dom do speak to people at the club. We speak to a lot of people at the club, I'm not going to name names, but whether they're doing a job down here at the club or a job up here at the club, we do speak to them because they know they want to either help us or use us as a communication vehicle, so to speak.
And it's always been for good. So, you know, because the Bantams Banter account is we've been going for what, 10 years now and stuff like that. The club realised that, you know, if you ask for help promoting something, we'll do it. We'll back it if it's for the good of the club. But it does mean that when bad stuff starts to happen, we can't just sit there in silence. Yeah. We want our club to do well. We want our club to succeed. And if it succeeds with Edin and Stefan at the helm, good. We don't want anybody to fail. Well, we don't want to fail. But all of these rumours are fueled by the fact the club say nothing, that nothing is coming out of the club. So communication is pretty much a zero. So we saw those tweets. So James Mason taken away from what I can only imagine is all communication, and we're not getting anything out.
So then you ask the question. If James Mason is doing that, what's James Mason doing? That all gets James Mason. That means what are they using him for? So then you've got to think, well, James Mason's going to probably end up going, right? So if James Mason goes, James Mason is a City fan through and through. What you want at the club is a CEO or someone like James Mason who loves Bradford City. It's no good getting someone who's got a clue about football and got a clue about the club running the day-to-day operations.
That's another massively important point. If he goes, there. You've got to have people in positions of responsibility, people in high positions at the club. So like a CEO or the
owners, directors. You know
but that's the prime example. The CEO. You've got to be a fan. You've got to understand the club. You've got to understand the fans. You've got to understand the club's heritage. It's not about being Mr. Popular. It's not about being a good guy and a bad guy. It's about being understanding of the club. The only way it can succeed is with the fans and with happy fans. And the results, although they can be terrible, that's not really the issue here. We want to know we've got a stable club, a club with owners we can trust, with reliability that even if results are going the wrong way, you know that the right decisions are going to be made. And at the minute, because of the radio silence, we don't know. There's nothing being substantiated. There's nothing being responded to. And it just fuels these rumours. All you've got to do is come out and do a tweet and say, yeah, we sacked Stuart McCall. It was the right thing to do at the time. He'd lost 7 games in a row. We felt like a change might have stopped that and changed things around. If you'd have come out and said that, different ball game. Exactly. Totally different ball game. We'd have understood.
There was nothing there.
The Simon Grayson thing. You bring out a statement, but nothing to do with what's happening next. Are we looking for a new manager? What are you looking for in a new manager?
What's the time
Can you assure us that some of the names on the list of managers that have failed elsewhere are nothing to do with the club, that you don't want those managers? Just speak to us.
Are we going to get one next week? Are we going to be waiting until July?
And maybe it's spoilt. Maybe it's, as a fan, that's a spoilt way to behave. But we're so used to good communication. Started pre-Cup run, pre-Parkinson with Dave Baldwin at the helm. Dave Baldwin understood the importance of fans knowing what's going on at the club. Not everything, but knowing important things. Speaking to the fans, letting them know that, you know, everything's in hand, don't worry about it. And results at the time were crap, but we didn't give the chairman too hard a time. We didn't give Dave Baldwin too hard a time. And then it started to evolve. The club started to do well, and that communication with the club, the closeness of the fans and the club, got better and better, because naturally, with success, that sort of thing is bound to happen. But then it was strengthened. A lot of hard work went in by Dave Baldwin, and then Dave Baldwin left. James Mason took over, took it to the next level. We had the FA Cup run. There were loads of campaigns, and although some fans disagree with them, it strengthened communication with the club.
It worked, yeah.
So we're totally used to that communication. Now it's gone. Now it's just disappeared. We're getting stale corporate events, blah, blah, blah. Get your season tickets, blah, blah, blah.
And you know, that's because we were spoilt because you let the people do their job that were good at their job. Dave Baldwin was good at their job. You let him do his job. James Mason is clearly good at communicating. Let him do his job.
They know the club though, so you've got to trust them.
As much as Mark Long got a lot of stick, what he did do is let people do their job who he knew were good at that job they were doing.
Andy Sharman thinks a bit of perspective is needed. As bad as this season is, it has been worse. The owners haven't helped themselves by saying we were going for automatics and not backing it up. However, they say they've learned from their mistakes. And yeah, he's right. The owners have said they've learned from their mistakes. We want that to be acted upon, and they've got time to do it. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt there. That could happen. Fingers crossed. Someone saying get Paul Jewell back, probably not best. Mick McCarthy, good shout.
Yeah, probably.
Mick McCarthy could be good, really experienced manager. I quite like him. I love that he's the most Yorkshire guy in the world.
He is. I mean, this part of his career, he might actually drop down to League One, might he? But again, is Mick McCarthy going to work with Eddie?
I don't think he'd want to. I seriously don't think he'd want to. So there are a few of the Facebook comments. We just don't have time to go through them all, I'm afraid. But the thing about Facebook and social media is that everything that happens is amplified because we're all moaning about it and talking about it. It's not just like you go to one fans forum and then a few weeks later you've forgotten about what everything was said. Everything there is out in the open. The club are there putting themselves out there to be criticised, and that's just what happens. It's not just Bradford City, it's the nature of football, and it's the things that are happening to us happen to a lot of other clubs. I mean, the owners haven't truly cocked up yet, have they? They've not done a Leeds United, they've not done a Blackpool, they've not done anything like that.
There's time yet.
There's time, but they've got a chance to learn from their mistakes.
Another thing I'll say about social media is you hear a lot of rumours and a lot of speculation, and especially this time round, I'm on about the past 6 months a year. If you see a rumour and a bit of speculation on Twitter, I wouldn't necessarily just disregard that in under these circumstances. I won't say that I'm not saying they're true, but I'm saying if there's something and you think, oh, hang on a minute, he's probably just putting that to get some whatever likes, whatever. I'd look at it and think, oh, there might be a bit of truth in that, because a lot of stuff I've read on Twitter and Facebook, I know for a fact is probably true.
Who knows? But it's important to let's just see what happens from now on. It's really difficult, and I mean, look at us being all serious. Like an episode of The Right Stuff or something here.
Yeah, do you find it hard, like, not sitting on the fence, but trying to be a bit, you try at the end of the day, me and Dom still want a relationship with the club. It's harder for me and Dom to be slating.
There comes a point though, because I mean, we've been extraordinarily privileged. We've been given press access and stuff like that. We've experienced great times with Bradford City and being able to record them, find it on iTunes. But that's not important, really. I mean, we've loved that and enjoyed it, and we're able to look back on that. But what's important is the club and how well it does. And honestly, Edin or Stefan or anyone at the club, if you're watching this, James Mason or anyone in commercial or anything, please don't underestimate the importance of, one, having somebody who understands the club in a strong position at the club, because that relationship with the fans is the best thing the club's got going for it. It took a lot of time. I mean, we've worked closely with the club. I worked there from being like 16 to my 20s. We've both been supporting the club and going there since we were like 6 years old. We've both built a good relationship with the club since we started doing the podcast. So we know how much hard work's gone in there. We know how difficult it is to keep a good relationship with fans going and keep everybody happy. But hard work had gone in.
There's another thing I wanted to bring up, and I spoke to someone a couple of days ago, and they said about the pitch, and they said that every year the pitch needs a certain amount of money put into it.
It's a mess this year, isn't it?
It is a mess. So 2 years ago, it needed a certain amount of money put into it in order to maintain it. And it didn't get done 2 years ago. It didn't get done last season. This money that we put in.
So that's why the pitch is.
So in theory, that's why the pitch is so bad.
The pitch was buggered by October.
It was, yeah, it was terrible. So this new pitch that's going down again. What are you doing to it exactly? Are you digging it up by 10 foot and putting drainage in, or are you just doing what should have been done 2 years ago, putting money into it now, the amount, whatever it is, £100,000?
Or is it getting this big rumoured revamp?
Yeah, what is it? And that's in theory, that's a bit of a communication thing. It's like, we'll get the pitch done, that's all that's been said.
I mean, if anyone from the club's watching this, or you as a fan might be watching this thinking, that's none of your fucking business, Tom and Dom. The pitch, why are you so bothered? But it's just nice to know, innit? A bit of communication saying, work is going on the pitch. Here's a time lapse of the pitch being renovated. It's what's happened before.
If not's really been said, and also the figures are being bandied about this or that, we don't know whether it's $500,000. So you know that if they're going to spend a lot on it, it's going to be a proper job in theory, although that didn't happen before. So I don't know. It's just another example of something I've heard and thought, oh, hang on a minute, that's a bit dodgy. That sounds a bit weird. Why didn't they pay for it 2 years ago? What were the reasons for that? Can they not afford it? You know what I mean? Why will they not do it?
Maybe it's just a
cutting corners
or a cost-saving measure, so you can spend the money elsewhere. Who knows? Again, speculation. But let's finish on Simon Grayson. Of course, Simon Grayson didn't sign up to be Bradford City manager for next season or any more time at all, for that matter.
I'll come back in a year.
Yeah. he decided against it for matters that are unclear. It's been reported that he didn't like the infrastructure at the club. He said something about the training ground not being good enough.
There's nothing actually wrong with the training ground, is it? Yeah. Since we moved to the school...
renting it's not ideal.
No, that ain't ideal.
It's also not the end of the world.
If you go down there...
If you don't want to be the manager, just
say you don't want to be a manager, I know.
Just go.
Mix them up, I know.
I don't know, what are they?
And also, he wasn't actually the greatest manager, were he? If you look at his record since taking over, he actually didn't do that good. Do you know what I mean? He had a chance. He still had a chance to get us in those playoffs.
Yeah, it wasn't great, were it? I mean,
and all right, the squad...
His record was one of the worst.
It was.
Since David Weatherall.
The squad's morale was rock bottom. You could argue we didn't have enough quality to do the squad. But still, you know, he came in, I've got these teams promoted, I've done this, I've done that. And he's actually, Sam Goose is a lovely man. And a lot of people were saying this about him, saying, he's got Preston up, he's got Huddersfield up, he's got Leeds up, he's going to do it with Bradford. We all knew it was going to be very hard, but these parting shots on the way out of the door are just a bit weird.
Yeah, unnecessary. But I understand.
Why do that?
If there's something going on at the club that's put you off it, fine. But don't start saying shit. Don't make it worse. Who's going to take the job now?
Speak to him. Training facilities are appalling. Terrible.
Maybe it's a warning message.
Maybe, yeah.
Without wanting to dig deep.
But and also that you don't know how that meeting went. He could have gone in with Edding and said, right, I want this. I need this much to get out of the league. $1 million or whatever. I need this much player contract money, wage to get out of the league. Can you offer it? And Edding might have just gone, no, it's not going to happen, mate. See ya. Could have been that simple.
And then that's just tough.
It could have been that simple. But obviously Grayson's not going to say that. There'll be things he's not allowed to say and things he can say. So I think he's wanting to say something, so he's had a dig at the things he can say rather than saying the actual truth.
We just want to know, as fans, that we can be competitive next year, that we're watching football because there's going to be some sort of end result, that the reason we're playing is because you've got ambition as owners, as the manager. You want the club to do well. And we'll finish by saying that if Edding, you're watching this or something gets back to you, this is not us having... We want you to succeed. We want Bradford City to be successful, and if that's with you at the helm, great, that's what we want. We want to see you and Stefan and whoever you employ succeed, because that we love Bradford City and we want to see Bradford City do well no matter what, I guess. And so this isn't us having a go at you, but we just want you to have some rough idea about what it means for us to be fans, that how important it is that you keep that relationship with fans is something that we've gone on a bit about in this video, but that's one of the biggest important things, the most important things at Bradford City is that relationship. Your closeness with fan media outlets like Width of a Post, Bantams vlogs, the kid vloggers, us to some extent, although we're not really doing it anymore. But that sort of relationship is unique to Bradford City. It's really new. You're giving these kids opportunities to do things that they enjoy, and we're getting to see that. And it's a great advert for the club. Bantams vlogs doing a brilliant job. Olivia Bantams, her vlogs are brilliant as well. And yeah, they've broken rules a little bit and they've shown a bit of footage. It's wrong, and we tried to give them a bit of advice. We're a bit strong. We're a bit like Demon Headmaster-ish about it. And sorry about that. But good intention.
AFL hat on.
But with good intention, because we love those vlogs. We like seeing creators that are like the new version of what we were trying to do when we first started Banter. So it's good stuff, and you get criticism, grin and bear it. Some fans don't like it, so what? You know, it's if they don't want to watch it, who gives a shit? We used to sit at home and cry in each other's arms when we got criticised, but eventually it's water off a duck's back.
Also, you got to remember that we're not telling anybody. We don't know how to run a football club. Do you know what I mean? No, majority of the fans don't know how to run a football club.
I bet I could do it.
Don't know how hard it is. They don't know how. You know, I don't know. Some people might find it quite easy. I think the point that Dom's trying to make, and we're both making, is that you're going to make mistakes. Admit to making mistakes, be open. Bradford City have always been an open football club. They've almost had like an open doors policy, haven't they? If you're a fan, you can contact us. If something goes on, you tell the fans what's gone on. Be open. All right, you don't have to be candid. You don't have to dig exact names, but be a lot more open than what it has been. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and just show us what your intent is. That if you've made a mistake, you're going to rectify it. People expect that from me at work and Tom when he's at work. If you make and you're right, you can sit there and say it's none of your fucking business. You don't deserve to know. You don't have to know. We don't have to tell you fans anything. You're right. You're absolutely right. But for the good of the club and to benefit yourself, to get the fans on side, do that. Do it in a way that you're comfortable with, but don't exclude fans. Don't leave fans out. Don't leave fans in the lurch, because it always comes back to bite you in the arse. Always. Always. Fans are the most important asset Bradford City have got. We don't own the stadium. They don't own the stadium. Nobody, bloody Flamingo Land or whatever own it.
Go on, Gib.
I don't know why I brought that up. It's irrelevant. But the most important asset Bradford City have got is not the players. It's not Charlie White. It's not the training facilities that we're renting. It's not the stadium. It's not the good press box you've got.
It's not Billy Bantam.
It's not the new changing rooms. The best asset you've got is the fans.
Yeah.
And if you upset them, you exclude them, you leave them out, you make them feel unwelcome, then that's it. You're finished. You'll ruin everything for yourself.
Thanks for watching PR with Tom and Dom.
But no,
instead of PR.
In all seriousness, thanks. This has been quite a long video, and we're also going to podcast the audio as well. It's been quite long.
I think there are a lot of stuff we don't want to get off our chest, it's quite. We mentioned it before. It's quite difficult for us to be totally candid and start saying names.
But you can't help it. You find yourself getting in
it's come to a bit of a boiling pot, especially with Grayson finishing 11th, which is just crap. So
don't think we don't know what privileged position we've been in. We know that. We know it, and that's why, to a certain extent, we've towed the party line a little bit. But we can't just sit in silence.
Yeah, but how you put anyone else in our position, Dom? Right? Any other fan would have done what we've done. You know, you want to maintain a relationship with the club, but at the same time, you want to be very open, don't you, and honest.
The success.
So it's a very difficult position to be in.
For me personally, the club being successful is more important than doing this podcast. It honestly is. And loads of things are more important than fucking podcasting. We stopped doing it last year because it's time to start introducing our kids to watch Bradford City.
You say city like city.
Do I? Anyway, fucking, I don't want to end this video on you criticising the way I talk. It's the end of the video.
Yep.
Leave your comments below. Obviously, you're going to have loads to say about this, loads to say about what we've said. You might think we're wrong. Fine, let's open up a little bit of debate about it. This is what we're here for. If you do leave a comment, we're going to pick five comments at random to win a packet of our limited edition stickers.
Bad boys.
These are pretty good, designed by us.
You get 4 per pack.
4 stickers in here. They are available at bantamsbanter.shop if you want to buy them, if you don't want to risk entering the competition. But yeah, we'll pick 5 at random. You must be subscribed to the Bantams Banter channel, and you must follow us on Twitter to be able to win it, because we'll be sending you all the details via Twitter direct message. But yeah, 5 of these we'll pick before Sunday the 13th. Before Sunday the 13th, we will pick some. So yeah, great. Thanks for watching this. It's been a long video. It's not been the usual positive stuff from me and Tom, but we're a bit older now, aren't we? We're more mature. Still did loads of swearing though, didn't we? See you on the next one.
See you.